Welcome back, you guys, to the Shotgun Mom Show. So I just wanted to say that I hope everyone had a great Valentine's Day, and I hope that you all got outside to actually enjoy the snow. So moving forward, today's episode is the regimen that I take when Cameron is sick from home to the hospital. Now, if Cameron comes home from school and she is having flu-like symptoms or cold-like symptoms, I normally start her out on her nebulizer and her albuterol. And most of you who kids have asthma, you probably have the same machine at home. Again, Cameron has chronic lung disease, and they're basically both the same thing. I start her out on her Flovent, her inhaler, and if she has a fever, I'll go ahead and start her out on Tylenol. Now, I normally don't like to keep her home past the second or third day that she has a fever, but there has been times where I've took her to the hospital on the second day and she doesn't have the fever, she doesn't have any scar tissue on her chest x-ray, and then they send us home and they're like, okay, Miss Queen, why did you even bring her in here? So by the third day, if Cameron still has a fever, I'll go ahead and I'll take her in. Normally when we get to the hospital, they will do a chest x-ray, and then if it's severe like pneumonia or something like that, and Cameron has had pneumonia twice. She's had a upper respiratory infection, and she's also had the flu. If there's something serious, they'll go ahead and admit us. We'll go upstairs to the 6th floor, the GI, and they'll get us settled. They'll go ahead and do protocol, which is ask us a series of questions, ask us if our address is still the same, ask us you know, are her fees still the same? We go through a series of questions. Also, they do something called rounds, and in the morning they'll have the actual doctor come in, her GI doctor, and a couple of other doctors, and they'll go ahead and, you know, talk to us about what they're going to do, what she actually has, if it has anything to do with her intestine. Cameron has had a C. diff infection before, just recently. So, and that will happen with her because of the bad bacteria. Also, when we're at home, I start her out on a bolus, a water bolus. I showed you the sodium chloride, and I'll go ahead and start that out at home. And they'll do the same thing at the hospital. They'll start her out on different types of fluids to kind of keep the feeds up, because they don't quite put her back on her milk just yet. They normally do antibiotics maybe 2 to 3 days later, because she kind of has to get sicker for them to make her better, if that makes sense. They'll go ahead and start on her nebs at the hospital. So they basically would just do everything I would do at home, but just plus the antibiotics. So normally we can be in the hospital from anywhere from a week to 4 weeks. I don't think we've ever quite been there longer than that. So what I try to do is, if I know that we're going to be there for a long time, I'll try to make it comfortable. I'll bring toys for Cameron. I'll bring the tablet. I'll bring clothes for her. Even though they wear gowns, I still like for her to be in her own clothes. In the rooms, they have showers. They have a couch. They have a fold-out chair. Normally, I'll sleep in the fold-out chair right beside her. If you can help it, never leave your kid in the hospital overnight without adult supervision. If I can't be there, which is I'm always there. If I can't be there, then I'll have her dad stay at the hospital with her. During the day, they have aides, so the day is kind of pretty good for them. The aides will come in and bring them puzzles and pictures and things of that nature. Cameron also gets, of course, she has to get an IV for the antibiotics, and she gets IV for the antibiotics, and she also gets blood work drawn just in case there's something else in the blood that they miss that they need to treat. Food. Bring your own food if you can. If not, they have a takeout menu book on each floor at the nurse's desk station. Now, I don't know if they do it on every floor, but I know on the GI 6th floor, they got a menu book. Because hospital food is very expensive. What else? You know, it's kind of like a family. You know, they know you. If you come in there all the time, they know your kid. They love your kid. Cameron normally goes into the hospital every 2 years. So, you know, they're happy to see us, but they're, you know, they're sad that we have to be there. So, I think that's pretty much it. love you guys, and I will see you next week. Also, last week I meant to say, keep supplies at someone else's house. I have supplies at my sister's house. Keep supplies there because you never know when you might run out at home and you might need to get it real quick. Even though they'll send it to you, just keep it somewhere else. Just be responsible with that. That's basically it. Like, I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Have a good night.